Yeah. So hi, we're live. Woo!
Hello.
Come on.
Cool.
So you'll see today we've got a different setup. We've got Pete as usual. Sorry, Pete as usual, and we've got Caroline today. Oh, I always get confused with this. How are you?
Good. Yeah. Of course, in a different country to you and in a different time zone. So It's interesting. Yeah, I just kept getting the time wrong.
Tell us about that, Caroline. Start with that. Go on. Where are you?
I'm in Hong Kong. I'm British, as you can hear. And I moved out here 6 years ago, and it's very exciting because it's not very exciting for anybody else, but for me, because my last visa is being done in about a month. And when I have that, then that takes me through to permanent residency, because you can be a permanent resident in Hong Kong after 7 years. So it's exciting.
Awesome. Okay. Well said. Before we go any further, everybody, thank you for joining us. Rajesh, Nirmal, Adnan, awesome. Come on, everybody, put in the comments hello and let's connect. Let's get everybody some connections. Let's get some growth and say hello to our fantastic guest, Caroline from Hong Kong.
So, Caroline, would you like to give everyone a little bit of background about what you do, etc.? Because we haven't had you on before.
Okay, yeah. So for the last few years, I was actually a recruiter when I first came to Hong Kong. So I moved here 6 years ago, and I came over as an executive search consultant, something that you need no qualifications for. So pretty much anyone can do it and make a living from it. So came out here 6 years ago, and over the last few years, I've been coaching people, executive coaching, a lot of senior people as they move jobs. It's kind of an interesting job and a kind of blended job. And I think you do a little bit of coaching, and you both do actually, don't you, as well? Yeah. So, but about a couple of years ago, I decided to do some more qualifications, get to a really high level of qualification. I already had some before, and set up my own business, and now I do this full time. It's just the most amazing thing to do in the world, and it's a real sort of rags to riches story, because I came from a family with no money, who'd never traveled, lived on a council estate, government housing, and now I live in a beautiful apartment with a roof, with a sea view in Hong Kong. It's like, wow, I have to pinch myself.
So did your house in the UK not have a roof? With a roof.
It's really unusual to get a roof in Hong Kong. There's not many of them. It's pretty high.
I see what you mean. I get it now.
I mean like a flat, like a roof garden. So or a roof terrace with a sea view. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So hello, Wales. Glenn from Wales, I guess.
I lived in Wales.
Dubai, Amsterdam. Jordan,
Henry Carvel.
So as we're doing this, guys and girls, please, if you've got questions, do put them in the comments. I think we've got a few. So Hayley, what are we going to talk about? I mean,
we've got lots to talk about today. For everyone that's watching, we've got some questions prepared, etc., about careers, successes. We're going to probe Caroline as well, seeing as we've got her here today.
Take away.
Will I get this kicked off? So let's start with the first one. How do you choose what your goals are, and how often? Ouch. Go in there at the deep end, Caroline.
Okay. I actually can't see anybody's comments. Am I supposed to be able to see this as well?
You've probably got it on private chat. On the right-hand side, you probably get if you've got comments as well.
Oh, there we are. Got it. This is my first time. Okay, cool. Okay. How about I ask you two that?
Yeah, go for it. I'll start.
Go on.
Right. Your questions, Caroline, when they were like stomach punches to me. I was like, I'm not thinking about these things properly. And I mean it that in a nice way. Yeah, I was like, oh, sugar, I really do need to think about these things. And, goals for me, I do goals like goal setting at New Year. And then, I write down 10 things And then but this year has been a very different year for me because the wheels have fallen off everything. And it's like, so what's my goal this week? You know, going live every day was my goal this week, and I'm going to do it. But yeah, but it's like, you know, in bigger things in life, you know, I am somewhat, I'm like a little ship in the middle of the ocean going, shit, the rudder doesn't work. And, you know, there's no oar. And, you know, being honest.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm prepared to say.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're paddling with your hands, though. You're doing well. It's a start. Doggy paddle.
Doing something. So, I set goals pretty much every day, but I think this is a recruitment thing. You know, we've got targets to hit. We've got clients to keep happy. We've got jobs to fill. And aside from that, I've also got my academy. So I've got goals on that side too. So I've got to be really kind of, I've got to plan a lot. But they are difficult, I have to say. All of that planning is a lot. So yeah, I do set plans, but I think I probably look at it at a kind of macro level, really, rather than.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but you see, I'm taking that. So right, those are for me, they're tasks. So like every day I've got a list of tasks, and I tick the tasks off. But for me, goals are bigger. Right, I don't know. It's just my perception.
Yeah. It can be. I mean, it can be a huge goal. And quite often, so when we talk in coaching, when we're coaching, we talk about the goal. And one of my clients calls it the bright, shiny in the sky. She's like, this is the shiny that I move towards. And she visualizes her goal. But then we break it down to like a session goal as well. So within that hour, what do we want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to take away from that? So your task is I suppose your task list could be considered, you know, little mini goals as well. So yeah, and also this is another thing we talk about a lot in coaching is definition, because definitions of words. Because what does a goal mean to you? What does it mean to somebody else? What does it mean to everybody else?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And go on. So Caroline, you've got to answer the question though. You've hidden behind your coaching now. So come on. How do you choose your goals and how often?
So I choose goals literally every day, like Hayley. And I think because I think it is a recruiter thing. So I'm like, right, today I need to complete. It's like a task list, similar to yours. These are the tasks I want to achieve, and then I've got. Whenever I have something really tough as a goal that is going to be challenging to achieve, I do a lot of visualization around that and work out how I'm going to get from A to B, whether it be within the first hour, the half day, the end of the day, the end of the week. I've got to get these things done. Like, for example, when I come off this LinkedIn Live, because I was a bit late back, my goal today is to send off for one of my clients. I'm setting up their mission goal setting for the partners. So Caroline, I just together.
On that, can I ask a question? I was listening to a podcast the other day, right? And visualization was very strongly being put forward, right? And basically this lady who's apparently, I can't remember her name, but she's amazing apparently. And she's big on YouTube. And she said, you know, we did this little task, and basically you visualize something in real time with her. And then she said, okay, the reason this is important because your brain doesn't understand that isn't real. So it doesn't differentiate between a real vision, seeing the outside world, and I can see that, or a vision that you've put into your head. So all of a sudden, your brain thinks it's real. Is that your?
It's absolutely ridiculously true. And I'll explain a little bit of the science behind them. I'm not sure whether she did. So basically, visualization and affirmation, you're right. Your brain starts to actually believe that's real. I mean, if you're a realist, you have a bit of knowledge that it's not really real right now. But what happens is if you really have a really strong vision, okay, and I do a lot of mindfulness meditation and visualization combined with people, your brain will automatically start making conscious decisions to move towards that visualization and goal. Okay. And I know that sounds super weird, but it's true. So for example, 2 years ago, when I really started my business, has anybody seen the TV show Billions?
Yeah.
Love it. Wendy Rhodes. Okay. I loved Wendy Rhodes. I was like, I want to be Wendy Rhodes. So Yeah, so I really visualize being in an office, being an internal executive coach for a company, for a high net worth company, or like hedge fund like they are. And I just drove myself towards it. And then I started targeting people unconsciously on LinkedIn to actually start working with them. I ended up working with a few of them already, but there was one, which is the fastest growing family office in Asia, in Hong Kong. So I ended up coaching the CEO, the leadership team, and now I'm in there 2 days a week. And
wow.
it's expanding. And it's like a dream. I can honestly say this is like a dream country. It's like the dream job. I'm helping highest performers in the world perform even better, helping them, most importantly, maintain their wellness, their mental wellness. And I really visualize that. It's like I visualize living somewhere with a sea view as well. And then this upon
me too. Honestly, that's yeah.
I really truly believe it's super important.
Yeah.
So go on. What about practical tip then? What about practical tip? Because so if somebody wants to do this today, like I'm conscious that the people watching, like the great value would be. So go on. 3 steps to doing that visualization. Could we do that?
Yeah. So first of all, you need to have a goal or something that you really want. Okay. Now, when you set a goal, it needs to have a few components to it. So it needs to be realistic, first of all, and it needs to be something that you can achieve. I mean, if you're 80 years old and you want to run a marathon in record time, it's probably not going to happen, is it? Well, you never know. You never know nowadays. But it needs to be kind of realistic. It needs to be time-based. You need to have a look at how you're going to do it, and is it needed by people? Do you need it? Whatever that might be. And then how I work with visualization with some of my clients is we close our eyes. Do you want to do this now?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah? Okay, let's do it. Okay. Right. So first of all, think of something that you really want. Okay. So you're thinking of, an outcome, a goal, somewhere you want to be, something like that. So first of all, we're going to do a little bit of mindfulness. So first of all, I want you to just focus on your breath. So just really focus on your breath, breathing in and out through your nose if you can. And just really focus on your lungs filling with air. And start relaxing your body from head to toe. So really relaxing through your eyes, your forehead, your nose, your mouth, and especially your jaw, your shoulders. And then if you're sitting down, feel yourself sitting into the chair. Relax through your arms, your fingers, and down through your feet. And then focus on your breath again. And as you're sitting in this very relaxed state, I want you to imagine that you're actually in your outcome and goal. So it might be in the park, it might be being successful in your job, but I want you to actually imagine yourself in that situation. Hear what the people are saying around you. It might be congratulations. It might be that you're doing an awesome job. Smell the smells around you. Hear, see, and feel how you would feel in that successful place, or wherever that might be. It might be sitting by a river. It might be at the top of a mountain. But really imagine that you're in there. And keep visualizing this as if you're in that place. And the most important thing is that you really see, feel, and hear. So you're using all your senses to be there. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Bring yourself back to your breath, back to relaxation, head to toe, and then back to your visualization. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes and slowly bring yourself back into the room.
That was awesome. Thank you, Caroline.
Okay, go on. I want to know what everyone was doing really briefly. Haley, what were you doing?
Were they doing it?
Yeah, everybody, please tell us what you visualize.
I was walking into my. Oh, sorry.
Go on. No, go on. Go on.
I was walking into my future home with my future husband, my future kids. Dinner's on the table.
Great. Oh, that's
I live by the sea.
Oh, I love that.
Brilliant. Except the tea on the table. That's not realistic. You know, tea on the table. What are you talking about?
That's that. And the kids are running a riot, but like, rolling in on the shore. Everyone's
Love
happy.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What about you, Pete?
You know what? You're gonna love this. I was stood on a stage, and I was talking about motivation to thousands of people on a stage.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was pretty. And then when you said do it again, I went away and did it again. And this time I was talking to like kids.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic. So obviously that was a very much a shortened version. So relax from head to toe, really get yourself, and your brain goes into a different state when you do the meditation, when you do the mindfulness, then put yourself in that position. And it's just you will unconsciously move towards it.
You know what, Caroline and Haley, if the people listening get nothing else from this live today and use that technique. In fact, I know I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it, but I've not done it, and that was very powerful in it. And I can feel the hairs on my arms standing on end.
So so something actually physically happens to your brain when you do that. You start creating new neural pathways towards your new way of being as well. Yeah. So you can use it if you're stressed, if you're unhappy, if something's not going right, and visualize yourself in a different place or in a different way of being. And it starts to bypass the old behavior, and it just reaffirms these little neural pathways, and they get closer and closer and closer. And then eventually they fire together, and it creates something really new. So and that's proven. That's an MRI scans have proven that. So it really does work.
It's incredible. So everyone, tell us what you think of that. Come on, let's get some comments. And you know, if you've just done the visualizations, just to give us a snapshot of what you were thinking.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for your comment. I believe in visualization, but still finding blocks in moving roles. Oh, right. Okay. So the question is age against moving when I only have experience rather than qualifications? We spoke about this last week, didn't we, Pete?
How did you? What did you say last week?
Well, basically that, you know, I'm 53, you know, do I feel old at 53? I mean, nonsense. I reckon I'm going to keep going till about, 20 years minimum. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to set up whatever I do that will allow me to work doing something I love for the next 20 years. And you know what, Caroline, you're so inspiring to me because you're very much akin to the way I am. You're very direct, and I love your personality. And what you've done is incredibly inspiring, and I'd love to sort of follow in your footsteps. And as we've discussed about the coaching and the International Coaching Federation, so
I need to respond to you. I think I can't remember if I did.
No, I think you did. No.
I think that experience rather than qualifications. Things are changing, Craig. People are living till longer, they're working till later. So, for example, the environment that I work in is banking and finance in Hong Kong. So they make people retire at 65, which they have done for years. And all of these bankers, all are looking for something else. And the family office that I work with will take people that are retiring and work with them. So, they're not retiring, they don't want to. So I think that things are changing with regards to age and how people perceive age. And 50 is going to be not even close to being old now. And it's considered to be experience now. Experience rather than qualifications, it depends on the job, and if you've got the opportunity to upskill, then great, but choose something you're going to really love doing as well. But I would say no, I don't think age is a thing, and I think it's changing. I think it's going to have to. And I think that, experience, it depends on what you're going to do. If you're required to have a qualification, then great. But I tell you what, if you really have it set that you're going to do something, network, go out and find the people that are going to help you get to that goal. Yeah. Absolutely.
I read yesterday or the day before, I think last week, I did a post on it about the fact that Netflix, Google, Amazon, that none of them are Tesla, none of them are expecting degrees anymore. You know, and I know that's, you know, yeah, it's changing. You know, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Questions? please put QU or an emoji before it. Right. I think this is one of yours, Pete.
Oh, I like that question.
Off you go then. You go first.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I think so. I mean, yeah. But do you know what? Hard work is necessary, but you also need to work smart. Yeah. And you need to really, I think, one of the things that I probably didn't do so well when I started my business, I'm not a great planner, to be honest. I'm more of an in the moment person. So I've hired someone, or I've got someone working with me that is my planner now, because I go into businesses and I help them plan. But for myself, I've not been great. So I had to work super hard. I mean, I worked so hard setting up a business. I think anybody's setting up, Haley's done it. I think Pete's doing it now. So yeah, super hard, but also working smart. But the interesting thing is, and I was trying to explain this to someone, I'm one of these super lucky people. Actually, no, I'm not lucky. I've just really worked hard and affirmed what I do, in that I don't feel like it's work. It isn't work. Yeah. I talk to people, I help them reach their goals, I help them achieve what they never thought they'd achieve. I just do that every single day, and just work with people, talk to them, have a conversation, work out how they're going to do it, problem solving. It's just every time, always looking for solutions. And that's what I do for a living, and that's not really work. So when, like, I was working on Saturday and a bit on Sunday, they were like, oh no, you were working on Saturday. I went, well, I was having a chat with people for about 3 hours. It was great, you know. Yeah. So yes and no. Yeah.
It's rewarding, I think, isn't it? When you're getting something out of it, it just doesn't feel like work. But I spent most of my 20s not really working as hard as I probably should. I worked for other people for the majority of it. Yeah. And it wasn't until I had my own business. I set up my first business at 26. And you have to put in some serious hard work.
Serious hours.
It's panic. Well, you kind of like, you know.
Oh my God, there's a great picture. I'll send it to you guys. I don't know whether I can post it on here, but there's this great picture that one of my connections on LinkedIn posted about what it's like starting your own business. And it's like this picture. It's a picture of an aeroplane with no engine, like all the parts just being thrown off the edge of a cliff. And it's like jumping off a cliff and having to assemble the engine on the way down before you hit the water. It was great analogy.
So true. You kind of scramble.
So you know what? The reason I asked this question, right, was because I think it's a bit controversial. What I've found is that there's a sort of movement amongst people that is, it's trendy to say, don't work too hard. You don't have to, but. And I think it's very important that we are cognizant of people's mental health and, people's welfare. But if anyone's just sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, you don't have to work hard, then I personally think you're kidding yourself. And if you want to get somewhere, everyone anybody who's done something will have worked their backside off. And as some great stuff there. Like, obviously, you've got to work smart, and doing something you love. It's not work, is it?
No, you continuously as well. You need to evolve and update yourself. Get little new upgrades, like an iPhone or whatever.
Exactly, Haley. Haley, you're 100% right. I was just talking to someone about this, and I said, look, I dread the thought of being that person that isn't keeping up with digital technology, or evolving myself, or making myself aware of what's happening in the world and how I can change and improve myself. I mean, as a coach, I am constantly reading research papers, articles, understanding the latest trends, knowing what to do next, thinking of new ways to do things to help people. And that, along with that, comes, I have a real fascination with digital technology and how it's going to affect my job as a coach in the future, and how I'm going to future-proof myself.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that is really important at the moment. Okay, so it's being curious. Be curious about everything where you can, you know, and keep learning. Yeah,
dead right.
Brilliant question.
So everybody, I've not seen a comment for a while. Can we get, if you're on there, give us a shout. Tell us what you think. Tell us any questions. Are we striking a chord or going flat for you? Which one? I hope not.
For you guys. What advice would you give to someone who wants to change career direction entirely?
Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. So there's a model I use. Actually, it's called the ART model, A-R-T or A-R-R-T. So if you want to change, is it attainable? Is it relevant? Do you have resources as well? Okay. And then how much time do you have?
I can see you writing this down now.
I am. I'm right. Of course. I'm writing it down.
So attainable, and with attainable comes, is it needed by the world, you know, as well. So relevant, is it needed by the world? Relevant, resources. I mean, and also who's your competition? I mean, that's the thing at the moment. There are many people starting their own businesses, and it's a competitive world out there because we're all online doing this now. But look, if you've thought about making that change, especially if you've thought about it for a long time, because I did, and it's been the best thing I ever did. I wish I'd done it quite a long time ago. I've done it now, but it's definitely worth doing. But plan, get a bit of resources, get a bit of money behind you if you can. Or if you're changing careers completely, have a look at how you can run this alongside your current job if you're working as well. You know, so that's the other thing, is to do it as a side hustle, and then start building it in.
Sorry.
All right.
Popular today.
Great. That's great advice, I think. I mean, I do think there's, you know, I was talking about the comfort zone this morning and the fact that, you know, you're all nice and you sit in your little comfort zone and everything's quite easy because you've done it before. And where the real fulfillment is where you go, you know what, there's stuff that outside my comfort zone, which, you know, I want to do, but I'm terrified of doing it. You know, and you know, just this to come on live, you know, this is scary. You know, we're all sort of wise enough and old enough to be able to do this. But, you know, I was, before I came on, I was with my girlfriend in the kitchen going, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm like really nervous.
What's today?
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, in a good way though. Excited, nervous, you know?
Yeah, no, of course it is. It's amazing doing something new and doing something which pushes yourself outside your comfort zone. Yeah. I mean, without that, so without trying something new or doing something new, we wouldn't have any innovation anywhere. It'd be a really boring world.
Yeah, mundane, monotonous.
Yeah.
Like Pete and I had a conversation at the beginning of this year about doing these LinkedIn Lives. We kind of like both asked each other, well, you know, what do you think about it? And I was just like, I really want to do it, but I'm petrified.
Yeah.
And so we're like, I don't know how many weeks on, 11, 12 weeks on. And, you know, we still get nervous, obviously, as Pete's just said. But I really like those kind of moments in time. You can look back and really appreciate where you were and where you've got to.
Absolutely.
It opens it up. It opens your world up to the possibilities in the future as well. And it creates massive inbound opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Some great comments here. Thank you. Primith is a big fan. Look at that. That was
wow.
The mindfulness technique.
Caroline's technique of mindfulness was brilliant. Thank you very much, Caroline. It is so easy, but yet one tends to forget about the larger purpose. That's so true. We're all caught up with our phones and technology these days that we tend to be in more of a go with the flow, mindless, automated setting. Yeah. It is necessary to give yourself the time to pull out the plug deliberately. Make aware of yourself and the surroundings and see what one is doing.
I love this and mindfulness. So basically mindfulness, and I know that Pete's been practicing.
I'll take it down because I can't see Caroline.
And I know that Pete's been practicing mindfulness and talking about mindfulness, but mindfulness. So they're doing MRI after MRI on people, looking at how mindfulness affects the brain. And mindfulness isn't just meditation like we did, or sitting cross-legged, or having your eyes closed. Mindfulness is paying deliberate attention to that moment. So you might be out for a walk, and instead of having all those things that go on in your head all around, thinking about what's the past, what's the future, what are you going to have for your dinner, sit right in the moment, listen to the people around you, smell the smells you're smelling, see all the shine of buildings, or if you're out in the forest or the woods, have a look at the leaves on the trees. Really be present in that moment.
Yeah.
The more you do that, the more it increases your focus, your ability to focus. I call it focus practice, because some of my clients don't like meditation or mindfulness. They just don't like it. They don't like the words. So I say focus practice. So it's the same thing, guys.
That's really important, actually. I do think there's an airy-fairiness about, some of these words that really put people off. Focus practice is brilliant because it makes sense, doesn't it?
It's exactly that. But so just doing that for 10 minutes a day is proven to significantly increase the size of your dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain which is responsible for focus, planning, and problem solving. And also it decreases the size of the amygdala, which is responsible for stress response. Wow. It's like a win-win situation. Why would you not do it? And I can tell you now, whenever things get a bit too much, I'm like, oh, my brain's going all over the place. Lots of things going on. I've got 5 businesses here. It's like crazy sometimes. And then I go, okay, right, stop. Just practice focusing on this glass of water here for 2 minutes. Clear my mind. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do mine before I go to sleep. I really do.
You?
Yeah, and kind of just do those visualization techniques before I go to sleep. And then I'm asleep before you know it. It's still carrying on in my earphones.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant for sleep. It's fantastic for sleep. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I wrote an article called The Science of Sleep, looking at different techniques, and mindfulness is one of the best. Yeah.
And your brain still takes in all the information as well as you sleep. Never switches off. But, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Next question. This is Caroline's. Would you like to read it out?
What is the one goal in your life you've achieved which you're really proud of? Anyone?
I'll start.
I don't mind. I've got a few, but
awesome.
Set up my business in the first place. So recruitment. It's the most daunting thing I've ever done in my life. My mum had just passed away. I bought my second property, wasn't happy in my job. And my friends were just like, Hayley, you have set up 2 architectural recruitment departments in 2 companies now. They've been pestering me for ages, like, just fight the fear, do it. And I was absolutely petrified, 2 mortgages to pay, not a lot coming in. And I was working like literally around the clock, but I got a headhunting fee in my first week. Well, you do it. Look, if you're in that position, I just thought, well, you know what? If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I'll just go and get another job. It's no biggie. But yeah, my first week, I got a big headhunting fee, and that was it. We're now 14 years down the line. So yeah, I think that's my proudest moment. But I think last year setting up AE Academy and linking the 2 businesses together is my second biggest achievement.
Awesome.
Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah,
awesome.
Well done. So can I go?
Yeah.
So there's 2 halves to this. So in the past, my goal was to become like a very senior leader. And when I became managing director of a £20 million business in the UK, that was it for me. Because I've got quite a lot of money. I got a big job, and that was everything I wanted, really. So I was like, tick. But now, like, I am in a completely different place. And in fact, the goals I have are like fluid because I can't actually make them stand still. So the truth is, I've got goals, right? But they're moving goals. So 1 minute I'm like, okay, I've actually got five things that I'm trying to do right now, right? And all of them I'm doing, and I'm trying to get traction on all of them. But I'm actually not sure which ones are going to come through for me and which ones are going to be the future. So struggling a little bit with goals, but yeah, the MD one was the big one for me to get to that point. I don't care about money anymore, though. I don't care about money. I don't care about position. I just care about happiness.
Yeah, I have so many things that I would like to talk to you about. That it's so interesting. So there are a few language patterns which came out there, and these are things that you can notice when you start to talk to people. First is the word trying. So we all try to do, yeah. So so I look out for try, could, would, should.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that means maybe not. Okay. Yeah. You know, so, yeah. All the try, could, would, should. As a coach, I'm like, okay, you would like to do that, or you could do that, or you should do that. Why are you not doing it? You're trying. Why do you think you're going to fail? What is there something behind that? And also focus. So yeah. So sometimes, so maybe scoring them from giving them a score of how they might sit within either you like them doing the best, or the likelihood they're going to come through, or which resources can you plow into one so that you can start prioritizing them, or are you going to keep going? You're pretty sure one of them will come through, because if you are, then you are doing it. You don't need to try. You're doing.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. And I do that. You've just done to me what I do to other people when I hear them say to you, "Oh, you're going to try, are you?" Yeah. Great. That's great.
Yeah.
So next we've got a lack of, so let's get back to the comments, people. Someone, come on. If you're on and listening, and thank you so much for sparing a bit of time for us. Will you just say open to connect? And this recording of this will go way past us, and people will see it for the next week and weeks. So if you've got Let's Connect, you'll grow your network and you'll learn about visualization and some great goal setting stuff. And we're not even finished yet.
And motivation and other things as well. If you want to ask me anything, then ask me, because I can usually help you.
Yeah, which is
with
good.
Something. Yeah, we can talk through whatever you would like.
So have we got more questions?
Yeah. When you have had tough times, what gets you through? This is Caroline's, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this isn't.
Oh,
this is Pete. No, this is Pete's. Pete's.
Right.
Yeah, it's Pete.
Shall I start?
Yeah, if you like.
For me, I've had some very tough times. So like, just to give you a few examples, a horrendously acrimonious divorce, being sacked, having my 8-year-old son taken half of the way across the country from me, so I can't see him so these are things that are massive life hits in the face, which I have dealt with. And you know what, I think the first thing for me is that I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I am not a victim, and I am incredibly fortunate despite having had some setbacks. So that's the first. I like to set my personal agenda on that basis. But when I have gone through tough times, what's really helped me, one of the biggest things is exercise. Focus on exercise. So like having routine and exercise has helped me to clear my head, to make sure that I'm, not going down a horrible path that I don't want to. Focus, consistency, making sure I keep in touch with people, don't go into my shell, which is a terrible thing. You don't want to be on your own if you're not feeling too good. So those are a few things. So I think that's.
I mean, I've got an interesting thing that I do. I check what I'm exposing myself to, because it's really easy to get stuck down a rabbit hole of, especially in this last year, it's everything on the news is negative, negative, negative. everyone's comments are rather negative because not a lot's going on and we're stuck at home and all of this. So I really had to kind of make sure that what I'm listening to, and what I expose myself to is sending a positive message. Because for me personally, if I hear those negative things over and over again, it can really send me out of kilter. So that's one thing that I do, you know, and check my friends. Like if they're phoning me moaning, it's like, oh, I need to protect myself. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
Or, oh, and I've got another call coming through. But but I think, you know, make sure you've got a good network and friends, like you say, Pete, as well. And just, focus on the positive. Meditation, I always think helps. Exposure and your friends and family.
Nice one.
Yeah, so I'm a coach, which is lucky. So I coach myself a little bit. I also have a coach, but that's a different thing. All coaches have coaches because we need to keep learning and keep moving forwards. But there's a set of questions which I ask myself. So and it's really straightforward, and every time it helps me find a way through. So first of all, what can I control and what's beyond my control? So what can I control about this situation? What can I not control about this situation? So I'll give you an example. In August last year, I think I told you this story. My visa wasn't coming through. My sister potentially had a cancer diagnosis. My boyfriend did have a cancer diagnosis. And it was just not a great time. So I was like, right, okay, what can I control? What can I not control? I can't control the visa. I can't control the cancer. It's distressing to a degree, but I can't do anything about that. So I have to let it go and just be there for the people that need me. What can I control? I can control my business. I control my exposure to, like you said, social media and people around me. I can control the people that I hang around with. And what I choose to do is be around people that are going to help uplift me, not talk about this unless that's absolutely necessary and they want to talk about it, then that's fine. And really choose my focus, which was my business. And that might have been what kind of made last year for me, you know, as being a boomer year as opposed to, you know, a challenging year like some people have had. So then once I'd chosen what I could focus on, I made a list about the priorities. What am I going to do with these things that I can control and work on? And then prioritize that and really focused on working towards them. And I know that sounds sort of easier said than done, but it's possible. And mindfulness as well, focus practice. So I was able to choose my focus at that moment. And it didn't mean that I wasn't compassionate and didn't empathize with the people that were sick around me. It just meant that I had a degree of control around how I was feeling about that and chose to plow that energy and convert that energy into something that was more productive at that particular moment in time. Don't get me wrong, there were a couple of days when I got to lay in bed and thought, I cannot do this today. I just want to lie in bed. I just want to put the cover over my head, maybe get a bottle of gin.
You know what? This is so important, though. You know, like what people, nobody needs to hear that we're all bloody amazing and we just smash it out of the park. You know, all of us go through, you know, like shit days and, you know, flipping out.
Yeah.
Dark
it
times.
Was dark times. But I sat in bed and I'd be like, I'm not getting up today. And then I go, okay, what happens if you do get up? What happens if you don't get up? Okay, so these were the questions. What happens if I do get up? Then it's going to be a bit shit, but I'm probably going to get something done. What happens if I don't get up? I'm just going to wallow in what's even more shit here and not get something done and then feel guilty about it. Okay, so the decision here, getting up, is a good one. Okay, yes, it is. Right, get up. Get up. Yeah. Right, what are you going to do next? And it's something as small as that, and I work with I've got my charity, Recruiters Give Back, which is obviously, and I work with people who've lost their jobs and free coaching for people that have lost their jobs. And these are the kind of discussions we have, is how do you take one step forwards? So when you're having this tough situation, it's like, okay, what one thing that can I do to move towards something that might be positive? Or do I just need to sit with this and stay in bed with the gin?
Yeah.
I might need to.
That's one. So I have this thing where, if something bad happens, I have to have a period to what I call it licking my wounds. Like, so sitting, crying or being very upset on my own and watching Netflix and thinking how hard done I've been, and then, I do that for a period of time and then go, okay, enough now. We need to move on now. Feeling sorry for yourself is a human thing, and it helps. It personally helps me, but you can't continue to do that because that's really destructive.
And that's so lovely to share, Pete. It's really appreciated because everyone deals with things in their own way. Everyone has their thing that they do, and if you need to take that time just to sit there and cry or whatever, then do it, but it's how you break that cycle that can be important. And actually, if you remember those questions that I've just asked you, if you've got a friend that's going through that, then sometimes you can help them move forwards by asking them those kind of questions. There's a difference between asking them questions and telling them what to do. And if you ask them, then sometimes they come up with the solution themselves. So,
yeah. And that was a slightly off tack here, but I did a sort of a 2-hour seminar on what coaching was, and I was stunned that coaching, the scale is sort of managing, mentoring, coaching. And in coaching, you're not allowed to tell them what to do at all, are you?
No. It's always, we can give information, we can ask questions, but we never tell people what to do. And we can brainstorm with them with ideas, but the decision is always with you. And that's transformative coaching. That's really transformative coaching because you choose, you find your way. And when you work with somebody, when you ask them a question and they find their way, they have insight, it goes to the deep learning part of your brain and long-term memory, and you're more likely to embed it. And what you're doing is you are building new neural pathways during that insight process as well. When you have that, like, oh my God, I know what happened. Oh my God, I should be doing this. That's insight. And that's your brain. Yeah, it's your brain sparking and going, and it's starting to create it's physically happening in your brain at that moment. You're creating a new neural pathway. It's amazing. And we can see this on MRIs now. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. I love being with people when they have insight. Amazing. It's just brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
I know we went slightly off topic. Blah, blah. So Pete's question, do you believe in
No.
Do you, Hayley?
I don't know. So sometimes I think yes, and then sometimes I'm just like, hang on a minute. If I think a certain way, but then you can never. I think if you really want to think about that question, is even you thinking about that question fate?
It's a bit like, actually, do you know what? It's quite funny. So I live on an island, and it's a bit of an expat island just off the south coast of Hong Kong Island. Yeah. And we all joke and say that, and it's a bit like fate. Like, we don't have any control over our lives. We're really on a Chinese game show, and all the people in China are voting whether we stay on the island or have to leave the island, and they're controlling everything that we do. So it's like, and I know that sounds really weird, but it just feels like that. I kind of see what you mean with the whole fate thing, but no, I think I suppose it's what you believe in, really, isn't it? I like to think that I'm in control of it, of what I do.
I'd extend. So my belief in fate is this, right? You do everything you can do to control what you want and get the outcome you want. Yeah. But there's a little bit of a moment. So we've all done that. Like, I'm not saying I'm abdicating responsibility for my life. I'm completely responsible for my life. But there's times where you've pushed and pushed and pushed a certain thing. And, you think, shit, you've done, like you said, controllable things. You've done all of the controllable things. Yeah. And there's a moment where something happens and you go, shit, that happened for a reason. Like, there was nothing that said that was going to happen. And it pushes you one way, helps you, or says no, or whatever. So I think it's a combination for me. I don't like it to be, I'm not at the mercy of fate, but I do think there's a serendipitous if there is a word called that, thing going on in the world.
There's all these. Well, yeah, to a degree, but again, I think it depends on your visualization and kind of your unconscious mind and your unconscious, all these subconscious thoughts pushing you in a direction that you want to go in. I really do believe that. I mean, I didn't realize how often I'd said I was going to be living in China 10 years ago. I don't even remember that. All my friends remembered it. When I came here, they're like, "Oh, you were always going to move to China." I was like, "Was I?" So interesting. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, brilliant question. We've got yours next, Caroline. In coaching, I asked the question: if your friend, daily member, was feeling demotivated.
Well, that's supposed to be family. Never mind. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
What would you say to your friend that was not feeling motivated? Shall I go first?
Yeah, go on.
One of my friends I used to have an office with up here in London, and there was one afternoon when I was down personally. He was like, "You're not yourself today, hey. Should we kind of sort that out? Because I'm usually quite bubbly and everything, and in the office." He's like, "Come here." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Come into the hallway." He said, "Hold my hand. We're going for a skip." And you know what? I started laughing straight away, but it changes your mindset.
Okay, great.
That are just like little techniques. And so I do it with people in the house at the moment. I get them to do star jumps if I see they're feeling a bit down. But if somebody's feeling demotivated, etc., it's their state of mind. So it's just like and thinking, right, okay, let's be more positive about this. But yeah, so the skipping, star jumps, whatever it may be, that's what I tend to use now.
Yeah, Pete was doing the galloping the other day.
Yeah, we galloped. We got about 5 people who did it and reshared it, but it then died.
Oh, I didn't see that.
There was a very glamorous lady. I think she was dressed in red. Was that your friend? Jill
Tiny.
Yeah, that was
great.
it.
Collaboration Global. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think, and I do this a lot. I'm very sensitive to how people are feeling, and I would always try and help somebody when I see that it's actually a bit of a curse. Some people just go, "Oh, such and such wasn't feeling so good today," and they go, "What?" And you're like, "Oh my God, I feel it so much." And when I see that, I think the first thing I would always do is just, first of all, be sensitive to understand what's going on. What is it that's not happy, they're not happy about? And, you do have to be very careful, because you can't, if someone's upset, you very rarely can talk somebody out of being upset, but you can ask them, what is it? And try and identify, maybe help them identify things that aren't so bad. Maybe, I don't know. That's possibly how
that's great, Pete. It's good. Yeah, I mean, I just check in with them, and just check in, ask them how they're feeling. What would I say to a friend that's feeling demotivated? Do you want me to motivate you, or do you want to just sit and we can just talk about something else?
Yeah,
we can talk about the sky or the sea or the birds and the bees.
Yeah, because sometimes that's a really good point, Caroline. Because sometimes I mean, and this is the difference between men of that book, The Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, right? So apparently, don't shoot me, but this is what the book says in essence. It's like women, when they tell you something and tell you they've got a problem, they want you to try and help them fix it. But men, when they tell you they've got a problem, it's the other way around. Sorry. Men want you to try and fix it with them, and women want you to say, "Okay, you're all right," and console them. Now, don't shoot me. That's what it says, but I know that's a mass generalization. But did you ever read that?
I would say I haven't. No, I'm not sure how accurate it is now, but maybe it is. Maybe it is a majority thing. I suppose I don't know. I'm kind of a fixer. I want someone to come in sometimes. Yeah, I'm a bit of a fixer. I like to be fixed as well. I'm like, come on, somebody tell me what to do. Come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can
need to move us towards. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I can get myself stuck in that loop of just moaning, and then I think this really isn't getting me anywhere. And then I feel bad because I've kind of sucked the life out of someone, not sucked the life out of them, but do you know what I mean? No one wants to sit there listening to someone moan, and I feel really bad afterwards. But yeah, as a general rule, when you were saying that, Pete, I did say, am I a man?
Well, yeah, I'm a man as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do but I think my point was really that Caroline was right. You know, it's important, I think, to check in with somebody if they want your help, because if you're just meddling and saying you should do this or asking questions, like, well, you shut up. I just want to, you know, like sit here and stew a bit. I don't want you to help me. So it's important that you understand.
Yeah. And it's human nature that people want to help you and want to solve the problem. They want to solve it for you or help you solve it to make you feel better. Yeah. But often it's better just to ask the questions and find out if they want to fix it and what they want to do. Yeah.
So what might be nice, we've got like just under 5 minutes left. Is there anyone who's listening? Have you got, you know, we've got Caroline, who's a great international coach here. You know, have you got any problems? Perhaps not putting that right. Is there anything you'd like to ask that we could focus our considerable experience on to help you right now?
That's okay. Don't worry. There seem to be people watching, but yeah.
Okay. So Pete's given us a really cute question. Might be a nice one to end it on. Are you special?
Are you a snowflake?
Hey?
Are you a snowflake?
That's
special.
Oh dear. We're all special. We're all special in our own little ways.
Special needs, maybe.
Definitely. That's what I was thinking.
So
it wasn't Saturday night, so.
Oh yeah, good. So I'll let me start. Right. So where I'm coming from here is that I think there's two sides for me, right? I do think we're all special, right? Because when Caroline says something, if you say exactly the same thing that Haley says, right? It's Caroline saying it. Nobody will say it like Caroline says it, and nobody will say it like Haley says it. So yeah, we're all special. And that doesn't mean you're any more special than somebody else, but you are special because you are completely unique. And I think holding on to that thought allows you to, because a lot of people go, well, why am I worthy? How dare I be better, you know, do something? I tell you why, because you are no one else is you. So you are special. You do have something different to offer, because
everyone's unique.
Yeah. But what I don't like is, you know, and even in my when I was senior manager, you know, I would get into the warehouse and move boxes just like every other bugger, you know, and I hate people who think, you know, I'm too important for that, you know, and that I really despise, you know, and I feel that we're all very down to earth and wouldn't sort of, you know, behave like that. I think that's important, that you know, we're unique, but we're not better than anybody else.
No.
Oh yeah. So that's a great discussion point, is being the best. I can't even go there, but that's a great discussion point.
You cut the cord now, Pete. She's
It's being the best is a great discussion. It's a big thing on LinkedIn because you have to have the most followers or the most, you know, it's interesting, really fascinating. Anyway, I'll shush.
Oh no,
come on, you were on something then.
So basically I work with a lot of people where as a young child, you're taught you have to be the best at everything. Especially in Hong Kong, places like Hong Kong, people watch you from Dubai, for example. It's all about being the best, being the flashiest, being the biggest, and that sits with you. So people really do drive as they become older to be the best, to be the one that's out there, to have the most followers. And you know, when it really comes down to it, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It's actually being happy within yourself. If the only way you can be happy is by being the best or being perfect, it's going to be a long way that you're going to be striving there.
And
So
a
just
long
taking
time
it
you're going to
to-
be unhappy because you'll never be the best, probably.
Possibly, yeah. And I work with a lot of high-performing perfectionists. Yeah, work with a lot of high-performing perfectionists. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. Very tough to let go of.
And again, there is a lot of semantics, isn't there? You know, like, you know, it's what you mean by certain words. Hey, Haley, are you special?
Yeah, of course I'm special.
No, come on. Well, you can't just say that.
Yes, she's lovely.
I mean, look, I'm very lucky that I've got some amazing friends who remind me all the time. I'm quite hard on myself, I think. So, you know, I'm never quite there, or I think you've probably both heard me say this. Well, you know, once I've done this, then I'll be there. And once I've got to that destination, there's something else.
It's deferred gratification, isn't it? Deferred gratification, which is it's a great thing that gives you, you know, makes kids revise and go to university and stuff. But if you continue that for the rest of your life, you'll be deferring till you died.
Well, yeah. So I think over the past year, I've pretty much worked myself to the bone. It's impossible to do another year of what I've just done. So it's really now like taking stock, appreciating what I've built. But yeah, I do kind of, my friends do remind me all the time. It's not many people that would have done what you've done over the past year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I do appreciate that I'm very different from most people.
Special.
Yeah.
And just, go on, sorry, Caroline.
I was going to ask Haley, do you need to do this again over the next year, or is it time to take time out?
Oh, so yeah, over this weekend, every day this week, I've got an exercise plan. I've got meal plans. You know, I'm focusing on me now rather than focusing so much on the businesses.
Great.
So yeah, trying to find that balance.
Yeah. The balance is important, especially
is.
when you've got your own business. A start and finish.
Yeah.
Start and finish.
So I think we're going to have to wrap it up. Can I just say, I'd like to say that everybody listening to this you are special. You are, and you've got to hold on to that. But you're not better than anyone else, but you are special.
Brilliant.
Right. So this has been amazing. I've really enjoyed it.
It's my first live, so I've never done this before.
Oh, it's been great having you.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone that's joined us today as well. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
So we're going to love you and leave you. If you have any questions for Caroline, Pete, or myself, please keep commenting. We will be on here on LinkedIn answering them the day, etc. as time goes on. So please keep your questions coming, and hopefully we'll have you on again, Caroline, because I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. We could do something specific next time. But yeah, this is great. I really enjoyed it. I want to do more now, like you.
Exactly. It's a bug. It's a bug.
Right. Well, we'll love you and leave you, everyone, and see you again soon.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.